And as I contemplated raising my boarding and daycare prices, a shocking truth struck me. I needed to increase my rates by more than 90% just to make a sustainable living. It was like the day that I realized that, it was like the whole world came falling upon my shoulders. But the numbers didn't lie. This is the Dog Sitter's House podcast. Hello, furry friend lovers. Welcome back to the Dog Sitter's House podcast. This is your host, April Hampton. Happy to have you. Thanks for listening. Today, I wanted to talk about what could be costing you revenue in your pet sitting business. You see, in 2022, I faced a pivotal moment in my journey as a pet sitter. For 2 years, I had immersed myself in my work, pouring over 14 hours a day without a single vacation for 2 years straight. Okay? It was insane. I don't even know how I did it looking back. It wasn't until after I made some major changes in my business and my pricing that I realized how burned out I had actually been. You know how it's like if you leave a job or you have a falling out with a friend and you don't realize until later on how much better you feel without them, without that job, how much stress you were under when you were in that job, how much you didn't feel good around that friend. That was my reality. But before I realized I was extremely burned out, I at least realized that things had to change. And as I contemplated raising my boarding and daycare prices, a shocking truth struck me. I needed to increase my rates by more than 90% just to make a sustainable living. It was like the day that I realized that, it was like the whole world came falling upon my shoulders. But the numbers didn't lie. I was at a breaking point, but at the same time, fear consumed me. What if all of my clients left? Was I really willing to take that risk? Paralyzed by this anxiety, I made the regrettable choice to raise my prices by only 50 to 55%. And even at this rate, it seemed daunting, as I'm sure you can imagine. I lost countless nights of sleep worrying about my customers leaving my business hanging by a thread. And when I started helping other pet sitters with their business, I realized that my journey was just a reflection of a common struggle in the pet care industry. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and stuck and really scared to raise your prices, maybe you've faced similar fears. This fear is something that many pet sitters can relate to because it's natural to worry about raising your prices and scaring clients away by doing so. But what if, instead of viewing price increases as a deterrent, you actually consider them as a way to position yourself as a premium service provider and in a competitive market, right? Or you can put it another way, and what if you focus on becoming a private country club versus the local YMCA? This way you'll market yourself as the top dog CEO versus just another hobby pet sitter looking to earn extra money because they think that it's just sitting around and cuddling with dogs and cats all day. And if you think about it, being a home dog boarding and daycare provider is really the perfect opportunity to offer more personalized, premium services. Simply because we are literally providing a home away from home for our furry friends compared to commercial options and competitors, right? If you think about it like a high-end restaurant, Imagine walking into a 5-star dining experience. Customers expect to pay more for an exceptional dining experience, and they appreciate the quality and service that comes with it. 5-star restaurants focus on attracting the type of customers who prefer and appreciate fine dining because they know there's enough of those customers out there to have a profitable and sustainable business. They don't waste their time worrying about losing all of the customers who prefer lower quality and cheaper services, do they? I don't think so, right? They don't care about them because they know that who they want to attract are people that are going to prefer what they have to offer and appreciate it. And the same applies to you. When you focus on attracting customers who value premium service over lower prices, you're going to maintain a more loyal customer base. And you can also lower your occupancy rate so that you still have time for you. So you can create that forever dream of a work-life balance, finally, right? When I came to this realization a year and a half into my new prices, where I only raised them by 50 to 55% versus the 90% that I really needed, I went all in. And I actually raised my prices again to the more sustainable rates. Rates that allowed me to take evenings and weekends off more often so that I could recharge and I could have more to give every furry visitor when they were here. Rates that allowed me to start implementing more of the little things into my business that I'd thought about so many times, and I never had the money or time to do so. Rates that finally gave me the peace of mind that I didn't need to overbook myself every month out of fear that I wouldn't earn enough if I didn't. Ultimately, I learned that valuing my services is essential. And the fear of premium pricing only holds us back. It held me back. It held me back for over 3 years. And I'm lucky that my body didn't crash and burn because of it. So I know what you might be thinking, and that could be that, my competition is undercutting my prices. So how can I possibly compete with that, April? Right? I totally get that, right? Because I have the exact same situation going on. We have a lot more competitors in the market. And, with the power of the internet and social media and things like Nextdoor app, you're seeing, pet sitters popping up all the time, offering low prices, teenagers, college students trying to earn an extra buck for the summer, whatever. So it's so easy to feel trapped by competitor pricing. But here's why that thinking can also be limiting. Instead of focusing solely on pricing, shift your attention to the unique value and benefits that you provide. Basically, highlight what sets your services apart. I will never forget the day when I advised a customer of my 50% increase. Okay, when I was back in the days of just raising it by 50 to 55%, I advised him of this, which is still a lot. I get it, okay? But I advised him of my new prices, and he gasped at the rate hike. He was so taken aback. And he said a few choice words, just, spewing out his opinions. And he said, basically, I'll find another sitter. Thanks, but no thanks, right? But rather than stressing myself out over losing one customer, I chose to bravely let him go without a fight and without worrying about my entire business crumbling because one customer couldn't see the value in my services. And what is pretty cool is that about 6 months later, this exact same customer messaged me asking if I had any availability. Remembering our last conversation, I politely reminded him my prices were still higher, and his response was that he was aware of that and he didn't care anymore because, you know what? He used another pet sitter. He used a fly-by-nighter. a hobbyist, whatever he used. And he realized how much better my services were for his dogs. And that is the power of value. You see, it's not a matter of viewing competitor pricing as a barrier, but as an opportunity to differentiate and showcase quality or your specialization. The fact is that there are plenty of customers willing to pay more for services that they perceive as being higher quality, higher value. And really, honestly, wouldn't you rather focus on how you can continue to serve your customers, both the furry and the human, better than focusing on how to price it so that they'll come? If you set your prices to win customers, you can't afford, financially or time-wise, to continually improve your services because you're just going to stay trapped in chasing your tail all day. And I don't need to tell you that being a home-based pet sitter isn't as easy as it used to be, right? I mean, a decade ago, simply offering a cage-free, home-like environment for pets was enough to stand out as a pet sitter. But today, that's no longer the case. We're not just competing with big warehouse facilities. And pet parents are looking for something beyond comfort. Because with the click of a few magical buttons, they can learn more about what their dog needs on YouTube and TikTok and wherever. So they want more for their dogs now. They're savvier dog owners. And with services like Rover and Wags, customers have way more pet sitters to choose from that offer the same amount of value, making it ever more important to continue growing the value you offer. Otherwise, you'll end up at the bottom of a price war and be out of business altogether because it's not a war that anybody wins. And I don't know about you, but I would much rather have fun coming up with new ways to serve my customers than figuring out how much a customer is willing to pay. Because the answer to that question is always as little as humanly possible. Right? I mean, I'm always looking for a deal, aren't you? But when you center your attention on building value, and even better, value that aligns with your passion, with your strengths, with what lights you up from the inside out, you end up building a business that not only customers love, but one that you love too. And I'm guessing you got into pet sitting because you love working with animals, right? You see, the truth is, if you continue to underprice your services just to compete, you're more likely to undervalue your expertise and hard work, potentially leading to burnout and limiting your business's growth, causing you to build a business that you feel trapped in versus a business that gives you the joy and freedom you desire. And isn't that why you started your own business in the first place? If you allow fear to determine your prices, you might miss out on attracting clients who are willing to invest in high quality care and over the entire lifetime of their pets. And you could limit your business growth and, more importantly, your overall inner fulfillment. So would you rather keep underpricing your services in a race to the bottom? Or would you like to explore ways to highlight your unique value and possibly attract clients who appreciate the quality and are willing to pay for it? The choice is yours. And hopefully by sharing my story today, I have empowered you to recognize your worth and embrace the difficult decisions that lead to transformation. Because when you overcome the fear of raising prices and you create a sustainable pet sitting business, the benefits ripple out not only for us, but for our beloved furry friends as well. And on that note, I think I'll bid you adieu today. I'll keep it short and sweet. So happy tails until next time.